just hit record because I know that people are going to be kind of trickling on as we move along. But I had contacted Jake to come on our team call. I've been coaching for 5 years, but I still feel like I need that vision. And as we all know, attracting those coaches and working with coaches who are working with the willing and attracting coaches to your business who kind of share that same vision. I reached out to Jake to see if he could come on a team call. He is the manager pretty much of Canada. He manages all of the coaches. And as you know, Canada is on the rise. So what better way to kind of solidify our vision as a team than having someone come on to kind of firm those things up for us. So welcome, Jake.
Thank you. I should take you around to everywhere so you know all my introductions. I'm super excited to be here with you guys tonight. So to kind of give you a heads up of what we're going to talk about and kind of give you a run of I want to talk a little bit about vision and belief, and then that'll kind of lead into goal setting, and then that's going to lead into action so that we kind of have a map of where we're going. And then the most important, obviously, of this call is going to be the action portion of it. What are you going to do now to move your business forward? And we'll get into that, talk a lot about that. So to start it off, one thing I found super interesting, we had 2 superstar diamonds pop in Canada last year. They both happen to be from Quebec. They're both rock stars, love them to death, and they're phenomenal. And when they pop, naturally reach out and it's like, okay, you went 15 star. What's the magic sauce? What did you do? And I kind of found it unique. They both said the same thing. And it really did hit home for me. And that was, first, they believed they could do it. Now, let me expound on this. I was talking to Genevieve. She's the first one to hit Superstar Canada in Canada. Or Superstar Diamond in Canada is what I said. But what ended up happening is she skyrocketed when she first started this business. She came in, kind of was filling it out, kind of working through it and understanding. Took about a year to do that. And then she just took off, ran to 8-star, and then plateaued, which is a terrible place to be, right? Plateaued at 8-star. Horrible. Anyways, she plateaus and she's like, okay, what's the next step? Well, on her vision board, it says 15-star diamond. But for her, that's a next step and not I believe that's going to happen, right? So for her, it was just, that's the next step, 15-star. I'm going to do it. 2 years later, she still has it on her vision board and she's still stuck at 8-star. And she's like, well, what's the difference, right? She goes to Summit in 2018, which if you haven't purchased your ticket, get it because Summit is a game changer. But she goes to Summit in 2018 and she starts to realize that could be me. Like when we introduce those new superstars and we do those kind of things, she looks at it and she's like, you know what, that really could be me. So she comes back and she's looking at her vision board, and now that belief factor is starting to take home. And that's not just a, you know what, that's the next step, but it becomes I'm looking at the team. I'm looking at this culture we've created, and I'm looking at like just the momentum we have. This is possible. Now for her, she fully believes in this, okay? Now, the second aspect of that is vision. So once you have your own belief in your goal and in what your team is going to do, you got to create the vision. So then she sets up a go live for the team. It could be like a team call like this. It can be just a go live in the team page, whatever. Hers was a go live. And she went live and she said, look, guys, here's the honest truth. I've been realigning. I've been looking at things, and I totally believe we can be a 15-star team. So now she creates the vision, right? What is it going to take? Who's going to be a part of this? I know we can do it. We have the leadership. Who's going to step up and do this with me so we can make this a superstar team? And people come out of the woodworks. People step up and say, I want to be one of those diamonds. I want to be a 2-star. I want to be a 5-star. I want to help lead that. And so I want to be one of those key leaders. And that's what really catapulted them and took them off, right? And then you have the second superstar pop. Go to her, and I'm like, Melissa, what was the difference maker? Same exact thing. She said, I started to believe heavily in that vision, and then I just opened up to my team, and I said, this is what I would love to accomplish, and I know we're capable of doing it, so what do you guys think? She brings them on board, and she creates that vision, and they just take off, okay? So first and foremost is, do you truly believe in the goals you're setting? Or are you just setting them because it's the next step? You need to believe so that you can create the working plan to make it happen. Okay, so that comes down to the second portion of goal setting. How important is goal setting and what do we look at? Well, we all know goal setting is absolutely like a key, like I would even call it a vital behavior in essence, because it's something that we absolutely need to do. We don't get further and progress more without setting goals. And this is why. Goals are meant to stretch you. Goals are meant to push you. So I'm going to clear the air and I'm going to address the elephant in the room. And I'm going to say, if you tell me that you want to be diamond by December, you're way off course. That's way too long. And we need to realign your actions, because you could be diamond in 90 days. In all honesty, you can be diamond in 60 days if you commit. And we'll talk a little bit about the mentality of that and get into it. But so first things first, you come to me and you say, I want to be diamond by December. I'm going to say that's false, because you're not going to put in there. Like, that's too long, and I just don't see the actions happening. So if you want me to be serious, you got to give me a serious goal and tell me something that's going to push you, because that's not going to push you, right? So goals are meant to stretch us. And here's an aspect of it. We're going to set some pretty big goals, and in all honesty, sometimes we're going to fall short. But guess what? Pushing for it and doing everything in your power to get it, and even at that point, if you fall short, you're still way further ahead than you were when you started. Now, I know a lot of the times we're going to look at that 1 or 2 steps we weren't able to take, and we focus on that. We're like, I failed. This is dumb. I can't do this. But in all reality, if you just take 5 minutes to turn around and look at the 9 steps you did take, now you say, wow, I actually did accomplish quite a bit. So the 2 most important things with goal setting is, 1, make it push you. Make it stretch you, because we want you to be better. And 2, take a moment to look at all the good you're doing. Take a moment to live in the moment and say, I did a good job. We love recognition. And sometimes our own personal recognition is the most vital one we can have. And so believe in yourself enough to look back and say, I did a good job, right? And the only time you're going to say I didn't do a good job is if you know you didn't give it your all. But if you fought tooth and nail, you fell a little bit short, you're still content because you did everything you could. Okay? So make it push you, make it stretch you so that you can accomplish these things. With that, make it short term. Now, I want you to set a year-long goal. Absolutely. What can you accomplish in 2019? But the more important aspect is what needs to happen in quarter 1. So build your goals and look at them based off quarters. I've done a lot of trying to follow up and hold people accountable to their goals over a year. And what ends up happening, in all honesty, is we say, yeah, I'm going to get to work right now. We miss a day and it's like, I still got time. I've got, right now I've got 11 months. We're good. I got 11 months. Well, come November, it's like, well, crap, I didn't do what I was supposed to, and I'm way far behind. I'm not going to hit my goals because of the mentality of I still got time. So when we change the mentality, and this is coming from the 12-week year, if you guys haven't read that, I think it's a phenomenal book. Definitely one to look at. Set your goals per quarter so that you're looking at a shorter time period and you can push harder and then reevaluate. You can give your time to recognize yourself and say, I did a good job. And then you can reevaluate to say what worked, what didn't work, what do I need to keep doing, and what do I need to change, and I'm going to push it even harder this next quarter. That's where the success drives us, and that's where we go. So I want the year-long goal. But more importantly, what are you going to do right now in order to achieve that? So that leaves me to this last part, and that is kind of this action plan. How does it work? Now, first things first, we got to really start to change the mentality of how we look at the business. So I kind of came into this realization of when we're talking about advancing, when we're talking about these things, we're a little misconstrued. And what I mean by that is, let's look at Emerald, okay? I was at a Super Saturday in Toronto. One of the diamonds I was working with came up to me and she's like, Jake, This is one of my emeralds. I am so proud of her. I just wanted to introduce her. I'm like, oh, that's phenomenal. How are you? Get to know her a little bit. I'm like, okay, when did you hit emerald? And she's like, 2 months ago. It's great. What have you done since then? Did you repeat? Well, no, I hit emerald. Like, now what? Now I think I need to hit diamond. And I'm like, but you've only enrolled 2 people. And yet you're looking at the next one is like 12 people. So here's the little change I've been making. And I'm like, okay, emerald isn't just 2 people. Emerald is 2 people a month. So if you're an emerald coach, you need to be enrolling 2 people a month. That's what it truly means to be emerald. As a diamond coach, it's repeating those efforts over a 60-day, 90-day window. Meaning it's enrolling 8 new coaches and creating 2 new emeralds over a 60 to 90-day window. That's truly what diamond is. And when you look at our new Road to Elite and you look at these programs, that's pretty much the basis of it. We want you to hold diamond for 6 weeks. Well, how do you hold diamond for 6 weeks? You continue to enroll. You continue to find coaches. You continue to put in the effort so that you can maintain diamond. We don't want just 2 emeralds underneath your diamond. I want you to solidify and have multiple emeralds. So when life happens and somebody drops 1 week, you're still diamond. That's the importance of it, okay? And the importance of solidifying this is, 1, it allows you to build to these rock star leadership roles of 2-star, 5-star, 10-star, 15-star. You need to have that foundation. And the second thing is, it increases your commissions, 100%. If you're putting people in the system constantly and you're reiterating this, guess what? Your volume's increasing, which means your team cycle's increasing. And that's why we do this. It's a side business for a lot of us. Treat it like a side business. Okay? So we've talked about, it starts with belief and vision. You got to believe in what you're doing. You got to create the vision. Set the right goals. Make them push. Like, make them stretch you. But also, like, make them attainable. I want those, right? I want them to stretch you, but I want them attainable. And I want them realistic, okay? And then the last part of this is action, right? Well, I just added in that little snippet about the mindset because I find it so important. But the action portion of that is, how do I keep accountable to these goals? Honestly, the Success Club system tracker sheet that's new is hands down the best document we have produced. It is phenomenal. And if you haven't printed it off, I challenge you to print 4 off for the month of February and complete it every single week. And you will be amazed at like the changes that start to happen in your business. It is as simple as this. How long should the first vital behavior take you? 1 hour and 40 minutes if you do it correctly. So I am a proponent of, it's very easy to be a busy coach, but it's a lot harder to be a productive coach. So if I have 30 minutes to work on a lunch hour, or I have 30 minutes to work between nap time and snack time, or, at the end of my day, I just have an hour window. What can I accomplish in that hour? That document will take you through the details and say, first 10 minutes, you should be adding to your network. You should be getting new subscribers. You should be liking and commenting and adding people to your network. The next 10 minutes is inviting, and I want you out there inviting. And the next 10 minutes after that is follow-ups. Go talk to the people you've been doing. That's where the power of the system is it allows you to be a productive coach over a busy coach. We can all be busy, and I love it. And you can go to your coach and your sponsor and be like, I am working. And yes, you are. We have no doubt, but you're not working productively. So if you want to see success and you want to change your business, it starts in changing your habits and being productive. And that Success Club system tracker is hands down the number one. Okay? So what does this all culminate to? The second aspect of action that is super important is accountability. You got to be accountable. And that means being accountable to one another. You guys showed up on this call. You want big goals. 100. That's hands down. That's just it. You wouldn't show up if you weren't serious about this. But you showed up. It's nighttime. You showed up. You're busy. You are serious about building a Beachbody business. So who's your accountability partner? Everybody on this call. If you have a goal to go diamond, vocalize it. Honestly, go out, do a team. Like, I'm going to give you permission to do a go live on the team page and say, I want to be a diamond coach, right? If you want to be a team leader and want like a 1-star business, vocalize it. Tell people so that they can, and 2, hold you accountable. Hey, you told me you want to be a diamond. Are you doing your Success Club tracker sheet? And are you doing the right activities? Now, a cool little trick that I learned about this tracker sheet as well is don't just put a check mark in the box, but write how many invites did you do? How many people did you add to your network? If you write that number, it gives you data. Now, over a period of time, you can say, look, I can average all these out, and I can see how productive I was being. And I know that these numbers, X amount equals X amount of new coaches. And if I want more coaches, up your numbers, right? It's so you can start to have that data point and that opportunity to say, I know what I need to do. And it's way more cut and dry than I just need to do more inviting. Well, what does that look like? I need to add more people to my network. Well, what does that look like? I need to do more follow-ups. What does that look like? You can be a lot more prescriptive if you're tracking the numbers on that sheet. Love that. Okay. So be accountable, hold each other accountable. We're going to critique you. We're going to give you feedback. Don't take it personal. Grow from it. Personal development is one of our vital behaviors. Part of personal development is the tough conversations. So when you tell me I want to be diamond in 60 days and you don't accomplish it and you come to me complaining and I give you feedback and say, well, you told me when you be diamond in 60 days and you set a goal of SE5, it's just not going to get it. If you set a goal of SE10 to SE15, now we're kind of having a better conversation. But if you get defensive, that's where the walls go up and our opportunity for growth just lessens, okay? So and to wrap this up and and then we'll open it up for questions that you guys may have, but kind of Greek mythology lesson for you, right? We all know the story, and now I'm going to totally blank on the name that I just think of this off the spot. Who's the guy that flew with the wings and the wax wings up to the sun and melted and fell? You guys know that story? Greek mythology? Dalius and his son.
I'm asking my grade 6 student how he just did Greek mythology and I can't remember.
I know. Greek mythology, the guy that he flew up, he had the wax wings. You guys know the story though, right? Had the wax wings, flew up, they melted, he fell and died. Okay, anyways, I'll give you, I forgot his name, which is so unlike me, but I'll give you the brief version and the important aspects of this, okay? His dad, Dalius, I can remember his dad's name for no reason whatsoever, gets imprisoned in the cave to be an inventor for an emperor, like the king at the time. And his son has to grow up in this cave. But the emperor, being a greedy, selfish person, says you can't leave the cave. Well, as his son starts to get older and older and older, he's like, I want my son to experience the world, but this emperor won't allow him to leave. So he creates and he manufactures and fabricates wings made of wax for his son. And he said, the one thing I'm going to tell you is don't fly too high. If you fly too high, they'll melt, you can crash and die. Okay. Now his son goes out, and his son, as he gets more and more confident, right, he's flying higher and higher, and he ends up one day going too high. The wings melt, and he falls to his death. Now, the other aspect of this story that I think is important, but I've never touched on, is the second word of advice his dad gave him, and said, if you fly too low, you'll be sucked into the ocean and drown. Now, what does that look like? We can set our goals too low and achieve them, but it's almost like we're getting sucked into the ocean. Okay? So it kind of goes back to my point of those stretch goals. We want them to be realistic, so we don't want them to melt, right? We don't want to get caught up in the sun and melt and die, but we also don't want to set our goals so low and just continue to hit them because we're not pushing ourselves and we're not progressing. So again, stretch yourself and push yourself to be better. We want you to improve, and we want you to accomplish your full potential. And the only way you're going to do that is by growing, being open to criticism, being open to accountability. and vocalizing what you want to accomplish. Because as a team, that's when the power starts. So if Christine were to go live and say, guys, I want us to be a 5-star elite team. We need diamonds. I want to know who's going to be part of that team. And if you say like, oh, I absolutely could be a diamond, you vocalize it, and you know what? Maybe you're going to be a 1-star or 2-star diamond on this 5-star elite team. Fabulous. We don't want to like discourage that. We want to encourage that. And I want you guys to vocalize it and step up as leadership, and then track your numbers so that you hit the goals that you can have. It's so hard to reevaluate and say you need to do more when I don't know how much you were doing. So track your numbers, and this is a business. Treat it like it. It's that side hustle mentality. It is a business. Talk about it. Okay. One last point, and then I'm opening up for questions. And the last point of this is, I'm going to clarify and kind of make it super simple. Social media is how we grow this business. And I think we all know that. Now, if I look at a top 10 coach and compare their social media to a new diamond, they're completely different. Okay. In this aspect, they're the exact opposite. If I look at a top 10 coach and I say, what is their social media? Their number one product they're putting on social media, coaching. The side product is transformations. Man, so here's coaching. You can make money, you can change your life, and it's phenomenal. And then with that, because of our products are amazing, you can actually have a physical transformation and a mental transformation, completely change your life as well. So it's an external and internal type thing. Now, a diamond coach or a brand new 1-star, 2-star coach, guess what? The exact opposite. My number one product is physical transformations. And guess what? We have this coaching thing over here too, and it really can change your life. Now, what's the importance of identifying these? The reason for that is the results and the experience. The top coach has experience as a coach and putting the message out there and seeing success as a coach, so that's their product. The newer coaches, they've had success with programs. They know that they work, so that's what the product they push. Why we need to understand and realize this is so that we can bridge the gap. We can start moving our social media from a transformation platform to a coaching platform. Because if you want to find coaches in this business, you got to talk coaching. You got to show them that it's business. And you've heard me say that several times on this call. Treat it like a business, because that's what it is. Your social media should treat it like a business. People should know I can earn money. Because the relatable side of this business is not, I'm working from the beach, I bought my new house, and I'm living this crazy wild dream. No, that's not relatable to the people we're attracting. Want to know what is? I paid my grocery bill with my coaching business. Guys, I was able to make my car payment with my grocery business or my coaching business. I was able to put my son in hockey and pay for all his equipment with my coaching business. This is what's real, guys. People are looking for the extra $50, $100, maybe even $300 a month. You have the opportunity, but what if they never know it's there? They'll find somebody else that presents it. So you want to find a working coach, you got to talk coaching. How does that look? Just to give you an example, 2 to 3 coaching posts per week. Put it out there. If you want to know what that looks like, make a list of 20 to 30 things that you absolutely love about coaching, and now you have 20 to 30 post topics. That becomes your post. And then in your Instagram stories, your Facebook stories, talk about it all the time. Let me show you how I earn money. Let me show you how this business runs online. Let me show you how I do an at-home business. And talk about it, because it only lives for 24 hours. You can talk about it all the time in your stories. And that was a key to success at the end of the year. So talk business, set the right goals, believe in your goals, and get it done. You are perfectly aligned to get the results you're getting. I think that's such a powerful statement, because it shows the actions you're doing right now are getting you the results you're getting. If you don't like the results, change the actions, and you'll get different results. Okay. Who's got questions? We got just a couple minutes. If you have questions, it can be related to what we talked about, or it could just be, I've had this burning question for a while and I would love to get an answer. Go ahead and shoot away.
One thing that I wanted to just mention, I kind of have an asterisk beside defensive walls, because I find that there's kind of a fine line between feeling like I show up as a leader and not feeling like I don't feel like I want to push my coaches, but at the same time, I want them to feel like I'm encouraging them to step outside of that comfort zone of setting your bar higher than just hitting Success Club 5, because for some coaches, Success Club 5 is like, that's where my sights need to be, right? And so I feel like I've made it be okay to not push my coaches, because I don't want them to feel like, well, forget this is too much pressure. Do you know what I mean? So I'm glad you brought that up, because that's something that, you're right, if we put our goals out there and we post what our goals are, whether it's in a live video or not, and we just know what each other's goals are, then that teamwork makes the dream work becomes a reality, right?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Because here's the fact of it, guys. You want results, it takes actions. It takes work. Like, the top 10 didn't just get to the top 10 because, they just willy-nilly do stuff on social media. No, they're targeted. They know what they're doing, and they're very, very specific, and they work hard.
Mm-hmm.
Work hard. Action, you get results.
And, when you spoke about that, newer coaches, they all talk about the products and the transformation, but that when you start talking about coaching as a product, that's a really significant, that's very unique to our business. When you think of other network marketing companies who have a product, who have shampoo, or they have spices, or they have Tupperware containers, like they have a product that maybe you love and that's amazing. Coaching is something so specific that sets us apart from other businesses. And you can tell which coaches, if you follow coaches on social media, post about coaching. And so while I don't always encourage coaches to follow other coaches on social media, it's sometimes a good idea to get a feel for how they post. One of the girls that I'm quite close with is Deanna Robertson. She lives in PEI, and I felt her switch. I remember thinking, oh, she's putting the pedal to the metal, and she went elite. And I think she decided in October to go elite this year for 2019. And she made that shift, and you could tell that, yeah, I'm having an amazing transformation, and yeah, I have this thing called Shakeology, and I'll show you pictures of it, and I'll show you making my Energize every day, but here's my team, and here's what my goal is as a mentor. So when you start to feel that shift, you start to realize that this is incredible. And the last thing I will say that I really notice with coaches is when coaches make a lot of money, they themselves will say, this is not relatable to people. I have a hard time sharing this because people can't usually pay for or envision themselves paying for a car outright or paying for a vacation outright. Yeah, they can do it, but they don't necessarily share it because the average person that they want to attract can't relate to that. It's paying for your Shakeology. It's paying for your car. It's paying for your phone. It's paying for your groceries, right? It's paying for the things that you just do. And your reality is not huge yet. Your reality is month to month. So awesome, awesome, awesome information. Jake, that was great.
You bet. Any questions?
I've got coaches going live, and our team pages has been awesome. We're going live and sharing the videos. They're stepping inside that comfort zone, which is great.
And here's the aspect. And you bring up a good point, Christine. Deanna, let's talk about her real quick. She'll be the first to tell you I held her accountable.
Mm-hmm.
There was a point last year where she told me, Jake, I think Elite's off the table. And I said, I don't think so, but I'll support you. And that was our conversation. Like, hey, you really could. But look, if you think it's on the table, then let's shoot for a premiere and let's make this work. And then guess what? A week later, I get a message from Deanna that says, we're going elite. It's happening. So there is an aspect of we need accountability in our lives. Okay. And that's why I say take down your defensive walls. We never we're human. We don't like being told what we're not doing well. I'm like the epitome of that. My wife will be like, you need to improve. And I'm like, hey, whoa, I'm awesome. So stop. Right? Now, once those walls come down, you become a better person.
Mm-hmm.
And it is hard. Criticism is one of the hardest things to receive. But guys, that is why this business is awesome. We push you outside your comfort zone. And I will even say, Team Cup winners We took them to Disneyland one year, and they were all like, there's a roller coaster ride that they were terrified to do. And like, that's way far out way far outside my comfort zone. I was like, great, we're doing it.
Right.
One coach that got out of it because she was pregnant. So she had to pass. Every other single coach we made ride that ride. It's the simple things. It's the little things. Like something like that. Guess what? They loved it. They had a blast. It scared them, and yet they enjoyed it. Go outside your comfort zone because that's how you grow and improve. And be willing to take the criticism because that's how you grow and improve. And last thing, I always say it. You guys have heard me say it several times on this call. You want results, it takes action. So if there's one thing I can ingrain in you this year, when you get off calls like this, when you watch a Champions Page video or a Canada Coaches video and you learn something from that video, take 5 minutes immediately after the call and act. 5 minutes. Take action immediately after the call so that you're ingraining that habit that you just learned.
Yeah.
Don't put it off because you're more likely to not do it if you put it off. Okay? So thank you for having me. You guys are phenomenal. You want it. I know that because you're here. So realign your goals. You can hit diamond in 90 days if you commit to it. Push yourself and use this group as an accountability group. Everybody is here to see everybody else succeed. And if I give you criticism, it's not because I want you to fail. It's because I see your potential and I know you can do it. So work hard. The results you're getting are based off the actions you're putting in. So if you don't like your results, change your actions. And we'll do this together. We will support you. We will do everything in our power to make you successful. I'm here every step of the way. Christine's here every step of the way. You guys are in good hands. Go after it and get it. You can do great things. Like I promise you can do great things. And I'm excited to see you guys rise. So thank you so much for having me on the call, Christine.
Awesome. Thanks for coming, Jake.
You bet. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful evening. I will see you guys later.
Awesome.
Bye.
All right. Bye, Jake. All right, so I'm going to, I'll just keep the recording running for like just a minute. But I think sometimes when we have these kinds of calls, I only have 5 minutes left on my free thing. I find that sometimes when I was a newer coach, I would hear people say things like elite, and they would say premier, and they would say diamond, and they would say rank advanced, and I would kind of glaze over, and I would think about all the time I don't have to build this business. So I encourage you to number one, don't get overwhelmed, but just remember that this business is about connections. It's about talking to people. It's about bringing them into Fit Balance Tribe. Right now we had that 48-hour thing seems to be quite popular, which is awesome. We just have to make sure we're keeping a tally or keeping a note of who we're bringing in so we can like take them out, because we don't want them just to be in there like mooching off all of our awesome energy. But it comes down to lives. And it comes down to hitting Success Club every month and signing up coaches to either do this for you or with you, or get you a discount with you as well. So, or discount for the product, or do this as a coach on your team. And that is how you start to build your business. So when Jake talks about what is your vision and what is your goal, and diamond being, way off in December, he's 100% right. You can go diamond in a matter of months, in a month. Sarah Gorman on our team went in 38 days. I remember when she did it. I was a brand new coach. She was a brand new coach. I was like, oh, snap. She just went diamond. That was crazy. But let's talk goals. Put your goals out there. Are you going to Summit? Are you walking across the stage? Because 1-star diamond and above is walking across the stage at Summit. Diamond coaches get their medal. Even if you don't go, you still get those things mailed to you. So think about it. Set those goals, because that determines your paycheck too, because who doesn't want a little bit of extra money coming in? Are there questions before we hang up? Comments?
I've got a comment, Christine.
Yeah.
So everything that Jake talked about was like fantastic. And I just want to kind of maybe go into again the offer to, if anybody wants to do a Zoom call like this and break down the goals. I know he mentioned about doing the quarters, which I'm doing this year for the first time, setting my year up in quarters.
Yeah.
Like they're sprints. And then I made my thing, what was it? A few weeks ago, where I said I wanted to make like $5,000 this year, and 3 of that was going to be Beachbody. So if you wanted, I could go on and say, okay, this is how you work your goal down, break it into the small chunks.
Yep.
So
do you have a template that you're going with? I'm drinking water for you.
Yeah. Honestly,
Conquer your year. Ooh, what is that? I'll write that down.
Yeah.
And have you read the 12-week year?
I have not read it yet.
Great book.
I have heard of it. But I mean, and even before the end of this year, I had made the decision that I was breaking this down.
Yeah.
And, so Conquer Your Year is Natalie McNeil. You don't want Conquer Your Life.
Okay.
It's too big. This here is broken down into sprints.
Okay.
Big year goals at the front of it, and then
sprints. That's the word you said earlier.
Yep.
Okay. Because here's the thing, my engineer husband, that's how his brain operates. He's like, you just need to, while we're racing around like crazy people, reverse engineer, right? Here's what you want to make. Here's what you need to do that. And some people operate on, I've got 1:08 seconds. We have 1:08 seconds. Some people operate on, this is how much money that I want to make. This is how many challenge packs I have to sell. Or this is how many like actual commission dollars. Great. If that's how your brain operates, we can break that down. Or we can break it down to bring 5 people on each month. That would be Success Club 10. When you say 5 people each month, that's not a crazy amount of people. When you think about how if you are a newer coach, you haven't even tapped into your warm market yet, meaning friends and family and people you already currently know. We definitely can reverse engineer. So if you want to do a Zoom call, maybe the week after I get back, we can kind of talk about that as a team call. That'd be awesome.
Week where I don't have ever. Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
All right. I'm going to stop here because it will cut me off, and I will get the recording out for people who have not seen it. But if you have a goal and you want to shout it out, post it on the team page. And if you don't know what we're talking about, Diamond, Emerald, Ruby, Rank Advancement, Premier, Elite, ask away. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.